Most of us get 24 hours in each day. That's about 500,000 minutes in a year. Mert figured out how to get more. I'm humbled today to rechristen this award in his name. It's gratifying that 10 years after he left us, Bill's legacy endures. He worked, lived, and shared quietly without drawing attention to himself. The cumulative effect of that life serves as a lasting tribute. His chosen career was community journalism. That means he was part of Burlington, but he was also detached from it. And as an honest broker, he could report and comment on what was going on in the community. What newspapers don't realize is that when communities do well, so do their publications. It's not like we can pick up and move somewhere else. In those roles, Bill excelled. While producing a well-regarded newspaper, he worked in the community to help improve it. He led the United Way campaigns and served on numerous boards and committees, including Hope Haven, the Chamber of Commerce, its development entity, and others. He helped bring the Main Street program, now called Downtown Partners, to Burlington, and served as its first president. He was a devout Catholic, and he served active roles in his church and at Notre Dame. He was active in state and regional press associations, as well as a Kansas-based publishing group. Indeed, he was held up as an example, the moral compass, and often was tapped for leadership positions. For those who knew Bill, these were not resume building or ceremonial positions. Mert would intimately involve himself in each of these endeavors. Every week it seemed like he was headed somewhere, flying or driving. Still, he would write his daily editorial and his weekly column. Still, he would find time to run a major business. Still, he'd find time to answer any employee's concerns. His door was always open. He did all these things without purposely drawing attention to himself. Indeed, I remember attending a press association banquet in Des Moines in the late 90s when Brian Cooper of Dubuque was embarrassed to present the Master Editor Award to Bill. In a business where you're taught never to assume anything, Brian was chagrined to admit that everybody had assumed that Bill had been given the honor long ago. His leadership style was uniquely Mert. I don't recall ever receiving a direct order from him. Bill would start by asking questions, long, deliberate, and thoughtful questions. Often he would do it while tugging at his ear. Without feeling manipulated, the answers were likely what he wanted to get all along, but you thought the idea, the cause, or issue was part of yours. In reviewing my notes today, I ran across this quote provided to the Iowa Alumni Magazine for a feature it did on Bill after his death. He approached his illness the way he approached any other task in his life, by asking questions and focusing on the positive aspects. And that's how he wrangled more time out of the clock than the rest of us. He wasn't content to lead, but he softly and effectively encouraged others to join him. He offered a just and correct example and emphasized that collective effort. His clock didn't have just 60 minutes, but also the 60 minutes of those around him, of whom he inspired. So it is with volunteering. It's a blessed task. It expands the efforts of any single person. Society is well served and served best when there are many workers doing their quiet work on behalf of the rest of us. Mert didn't invent this concept, but he certainly showed how it could be perfected. Thank you.
Now we move to the announcement of the nominee. I'm not just sure how to do this. We're going to have Haley Gard come up. Our winner for this year is